Hey, all, Stan here. Welcome back to Dravin's Den. It's December 10th, a day packed with big ideas, small miracles, and a few oddball surprises. We're diving into history, peace treaties, and Nobel Prizes, odd little facts, and yes, a reminder that even the smallest dates can hold massive stories. Stay tuned till the end, and I've got a special message just for you. Got your W energy drink ready? Awesome. Kick it! All right, let's dive into 1901 on this day. The first ever Nobel Prize award ceremony took place, the first of what would become one of the most prestigious global honors. Inventor industrialist Alfred Nobel had died 5 years earlier in 1896 and left his fortune to fund these awards, hoping to leave a better legacy than just explosives. Ironic, given his invention of dynamite. Odd fact, the first Nobel Prize ceremony was held in Stockholm, Sweden. And December 10 was chosen because it was the anniversary of Nobel's death. So every time we hear about a Nobel winner, we're remembering a Swedish chemist who wanted to make peace, not blow things up. Since that day, the Nobel Prize has become a symbol of human achievement, but it started with a simple wish: reward those who make the world better. 1948, Declaration of Human Rights was adopted by the United Nations. On December 10, 1948, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, also known as the UDHR, proclaiming fundamental human rights for all people, a turning point for global human rights. It laid out rights that until then were mostly ideology: the right to free speech, to live without oppression, to equality, to education. For many across the world, it became a beacon of hope. I mean, think about it today, living without those basic rights. We're all screaming that civil rights are being taken away and so forth, and they are, in many parts of the world. And it's just think about that. Those basic human rights a lot of us take for granted. But interesting note, December 10 is still remembered each year as a sort of global human rights day. So when you see activists protest, voices rising, often they trace it back to this 1948 decision. 1817, the U.S. adds Mississippi to the bunch. That's right. Today in 1817, Mississippi was admitted to the Union as the 20th U.S. state. Think about that. Long before highways or skyscrapers, this land, with its rivers, swamps, forests, became officially part of a young nation expanding west. Kind of an odd side. Early statehood often meant people arguing over borders, land claims, native treaties. Messy business. Mississippi's early years were complicated, but that admission marked an important piece of America's geographical puzzle. Can you imagine the map of the United States and Mississippi's just not there? Weird. 1936. Not so calm abdication. The end of a throne. 1936, former British, sorry to the guys across the pond, British monarch Edward VIII signed the instrument of abdication, officially relinquishing his throne so that he could marry an American divorcee, Wallis Simpson. That choice shocked the world. A king giving up his crown for love. True romance. It turned royal protocol upside down. It's rare you see history where romance, royalty, and international scandal collide. But on December 10 in 1936, had all of it. Makes you wonder how much real-life drama beats even the wildest fiction. So, next up on this channel will be the real kings of Britain. I don't know. Kind of thinking about that whole, Housewives of New Jersey or Jersey Shore, or whatever that is. I don't know. I don't watch those shows. I got too much drama in my life already. Kinda. I don't know. I think everybody has drama in their life, even when they say they don't. You know, you think, is that mouse gonna get the cheese? That's drama. You know, the suspenseful moment. Okay, I'm rambling. 1967, tragedy, loss of a music legend. 1967, soul singer Otis Redding, just 26 years old, died in a plane crash. That also claimed several others. Redding had just recorded what would become a posthumous hit. Posthumous. Oh, man. Posthumous. There we go. Posthumous hit. And the world lost a bright voice that night. Man, did it ever. A somber but important reminder. History isn't all triumph. Sometimes it's a sudden loss. And songs, like memories, keep people alive long after they're gone. Hey, I can tell you to this day, I've knocked off a lot of things on my bucket list. But going to San Francisco, walking to the end of a dock, and just sitting at the end and watching the waves, that's Otis Redding gave me that bucket list item. But yeah, still haven't done that yet. All right, well, quick break, but not a history break. If you love digging past the dates and uncovering stories tied to real places, check out Lore Trail. It's an app that turns streets, fields, forests, even cemeteries into living history. Every step can reveal stories hidden from time. Back the Lore Trail Kickstarter and help us map the world. Not just as it looks, but as it was, because every place has a story worth telling. So head over to the Lore Trail Kickstarter, and if you could support this project, that would be awesome. I just recently talked to a development company about putting the code together and everything else, and they seem really excited. But whoo-wee doggy, yeah, that's there was a lot of zeros in there. So anything you can do will help. If you reach the Pioneer stage, I got these really nifty Lore Trail pens to mail out to you. It's small for right now. There's other benefits of helping me out with this project, but I would greatly appreciate it, because we're looking for about 35,000. Yeah, not a cheap venture, but man, think about how it'll change the face of history. Or how we interact with history. Education would really benefit from this. Wow, I'm like totally, words are just not showing up for me today. But anyway, you get the point. Head over to Kickstarter. So when you look at December 10 across centuries, you see humanity at its highest and lowest. We start with hope, the first Nobel Prize shining a light on human achievement. Move through ideals, a global declaration for human rights. Expand a country, new states, new frontiers. You see love and scandal, royalty giving up thrones for hearts. And you feel tragedy, a brilliant young artist lost way too soon. It's messy, it's painful, it's joyous, it's proud. But the beauty and brutal honesty of history, that's what it is. And if you're still with me, still awake, or just trying to keep up, maybe you need a little boost. That's where W Energy comes in. Clean energy, no crash, no buzz that leaves you jittery. Perfect for late night editing sessions, deep dives into archives, or just powering through when the world feels heavy. Crack a W and stay sharp, stay curious, and head on over to dubby.gg. That's DUBBY.gg. And you'll see a little promotional section where you put a code in. Why don't you put in Dravin's Den, DRAVINSDEN, and that'll give you 10% off your order. So, quick shout out to you. Yeah, you with the headphones. Got a weird, funny, or just plain unbelievable bit of history from your hometown or family lore? Maybe an old legend, strange local holiday, or a bizarre fact that no one talks about. I want to hear it. Shoot me an email at dravinsden@gmail.com. If I pick your fact, I'll read it on the show. Give you full credit. Name, town, whatever you want me to do. Let's build a vault of weird, forgotten, or just plain hilarious history together. Because sometimes the best stories aren't in the textbooks. they live in the memories of everyday people. If we don't get a submission this week, no worries. But if you ever stumble on something weird from the past, you know where to send it. dravinsden@gmail.com. Maybe next week, your fact becomes part of the den's lore. Matter of fact, I have one for my own family. So my uncle and my mother both told me that I am distantly related from Winston Churchill. And first time I had read this in a book many years after I was told, but I was told that he visited the White House one time, and they had all had a grand dinner and everything, and Winston disappeared. They couldn't find him, and they went back to one of the grand bedrooms. I don't recall which bedroom it was, but they went in and found him laid up in the tub, obviously naked as a jaybird, smoking a cigar, having his cognac. And the president walked in. He's like, Winston, what are you doing? He said, we're all friends here. We have nothing to hide. that was the story that I was told about my ancestor, Winston Churchill. And yeah, like I said, later on, I had actually read that. I want to say it was biography or something like that. But yeah, so if you have any stories, let me know. I want to read them. I'll look into them. And if I pick yours, I will definitely read it here on the air. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Dravin's Den. So next time you walk down the street, pass a state house, watch a concert, or open a book, remember, all of it is part of history. Yours, mine, ours. I'm Stan. Thanks for riding shotgun through time with me today. Stay curious, stay exploring, keep the stories alive, and I'll catch you next time on The Den.